good afternoon, or good morning. Today we're going to be talking about capitalization. We're going to start with the textbook pages, page 18, and the exercise will be on page 19. And then there are two other sections of the textbook on capitalization. First of all, on page 18, we have four rules, and on page 19, there's rules number 5 and 6. So let's start with rule number 1. First of all, you capitalize the first letter of the first word in a sentence. In the example in the book, they have, my neighbor is a mechanic. So capital M in my is capitalized. The rule number 2 is the pronoun I is capitalized, such as my friends and I often study together. So capital I is capitalized. Rule number 3, names of people and their titles. For example, King Abdullah II, capital K in King, capital A in Abdullah. President Lincoln, capital P in President, capital L in Lincoln. Professor Patrick Jones, capital P in Professor, capital P in Patrick, capital J in Jones. Mr. and Mrs. Harold Simpson, capital M in Mr., capital M and Mrs., capital H in Harold, capital S in Simpson. In your book, you'll notice that on page 18, there's a note. It says, do not capitalize a title without a name, except when the reference is to a specific person who holds the title. So when you know you're talking about a certain president and the First Lady and the Queen, then you can say the President and the First Lady had dinner with the Queen and her husband last night. So capital P in President, capital F in First, capital L in Lady, and capital Q in Queen. However, where it says compare, that's the example where it shows you where you do not have to capitalize king or president. The example states, I've never met a king or a president. You don't capitalize king here or president because you're not talking about any specific president or king. Also, the other example is he wants to be a math professor. So again, the references here are general, and so you do not have to capitalize the titles. Rule number 4, nationalities, languages, religions, and ethnic groups. What are nationalities? Nationalities are like Thai, Canadian, American, Russian, French, British. Those are nationalities. In the book, they give you examples, English, Spanish, Swedish. Those are nationalities. So you capitalize E in English, capital S in Spanish, capital S in Swedish. And then you have some religions you also capitalize. In fact, you capitalize the first letter of any religion, such as Christian, capital C, Jewish, capital J, Muslim, capital M. Then there's some ethnic groups, Hispanic or people who speak Spanish, capital H in Hispanic. I guess you could call it an ethnic group, Native American, capital N in Native, capital A in American. Those are the original people who lived in America or United States before European settlers came. Mandarin is a Chinese language, so you capitalize M in Mandarin. Farsi is a language used in the Middle East, capital F as in Farsi. Latin is also a language, even though people don't speak it. It's a very old language, capital L in Latin. There are many languages and many nationalities. Generally speaking, you can think of nationality like British, English, Thai, and so on. You can say that's the nationality, and you can also say it's a language. So the Thai language, the Thai nationality, the French language, the French nationality. the German language, the German nationality, and so on. On page 19, you will see that there's rule number 5, where you capitalize the first letter of names of languages or nationalities that are the name or the part of the name of a school subject. Let me say that again. Rule 5 on page 19, you capitalize the names of languages or nationalities that are the name or part of the name of a school subject, and also you capitalize the names of school courses with numbers. In the textbook, they give you the nationality, for example, English, so you capitalize E, and then that could also be a subject as well as a nationality. English history is a subject, capital E. Russian could be the name of a language. Russian art could be the name of a subject that you're studying. Also, the names of school courses with numbers. Often school courses have numbers attached to it. English History 201, capitalize E for English, capital H for History. Physics 352, capital P for Physics. Now, there's rule number 6, specific places you can find on a map. We usually call those geographic names, but here they're calling them just places you find on a map. So the country of England, capital E, the name of the street, First Street, capital F in First, capital S in Street. The city, New York City, capital N like New, capital Y like York, capital C like City. Times Square is an area of New York City, very famous. Capital T like Times, capital S like Square. South America is a continent. Capital S like South, capital A like America. In Thailand, we're in Southeast Asia, so that will be capital S like Southeast. The Amazon River, you capitalize the name of it, capital A, and then also capital R for river. So you've had a chance to listen to me talk about capitalization with these 6 capitalization rules. Let me just review. The first thing I said was you capitalize the first word in a sentence. Then we capitalize the pronoun I. Then you capitalize the names of people and their titles, such as King Abdullah or President Lincoln. Then you capitalize the first letter of nationalities, languages, religions, and ethnic groups. Nationalities like Thai, French, English, British, Canadian. Languages, Thai, French, German, English, Spanish. Religions, Christian, Hindu, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist. Those are all religions. I also mentioned that you capitalize the names of languages or nationalities that are the name or part of the name of a school subject. English history, Russian art, so on. Also, I mentioned that the names of school courses with numbers. English history 201, physics 352. I also mentioned specific places you can find on a map. These are usually the names of countries, or the names of streets, the names of rivers, or areas of the world, such as a continent of South America or the continent of Southeast Asia. So you've heard me talk for quite a long time about capitalization. So those are the first 6 rules. And what I would like you to do as a homework assignment is to do practice number 7, editing capitalization errors. Editing means to change, to find the error and to change it. They gave you an example. Mark Zuckerberg is a well-known person. So the first letter of Mark is capital M. First letter of Zuckerberg, his last name is capital Z. They want you to change the small letters in that paragraph that you see there on page 19, and change the small letters into the large letters only if it's necessary, following those rules, okay? And we're going to be talking about capitalization for a little bit longer, but let's just take a short break and we're going to talk about capitalization later. Welcome back to our capitalization lesson. The next section about capitalization you can find in your textbook on page 96. Page 96 talks about 4 more rules. Now I know that in one of our lessons before the Christmas break, you did have a chance to hear me talk about these 4 rules. However, because we're talking about capitalization and a lot of other rules, I'm going to talk about it again just briefly. Some of you were not there in the lesson when we talked about capitalization, and some of you, even though you were there, did not have your book, so you could not do the exercises or follow along. So this will be kind of a review, and for the people that were not there, who are absent, this will be new material. So again, capitalization is also on page 96. We have 4 more rules. The first rule about capitalization here is that we capitalize the names of specific structures such as buildings, roads, and bridges. Well, in Bangkok, you have many roads, many bridges, and many buildings. For example, the name of the school buildings here at St. Joseph, they all have capital letters. The Miriam building, for example, there's other buildings as well. A famous American building that they list in the textbook is the White House. The White House is where the President of the United States lives. Capital W for white, capital H for house. The Hilton Hotel, capital H for Hilton, capital H for hotel. It's a famous hotel company. The Kremlin is a name of a famous Russian building because that's where the Russian government is, capital K. Highway 395, so because it's the name of a road, you capitalize the H. State Route 15, that's the name of a highway. Those kinds of names are often in the United States. So capital S for state, capital R for route. The Brooklyn Bridge, well, that's the name of a bridge in America. Capital B for Brooklyn, capital B for bridge. You have many bridges here in Bangkok. I'm sure you know that there are so many of them. The second rule on page 96 is that we capitalize the names of specific organizations such as businesses, schools, and clubs, where there are so many businesses. Every school, including St. Joseph School, Bagna, the first letter of the name of the school starts with a capital. Universities, public schools, high schools, private schools. In the book, they have Stanford University, capital S and capital U. Name of a famous company is a credit card company. American Express, famous international government organization, the United Nations, capital U, capital N. A famous, or excuse me, a name of a club for people who like sports and outside activities. Outdoor club, capital O, capital C. Outdoor club could have activities such as hiking and maybe camping and things to do outside. The third rule has to do with the names of the days, months, holidays, and special time periods. I'm sure you know that we capitalize all the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we put a capital of the first letter of each day, such as Monday's capital M. We capitalize all the months of the year, the first letter of each month of the year: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. We capitalize holidays. New Year's Day is usually a holiday, capital N for N, capital Y for years, capital D for day. Songkran is a Thai New Year's holiday, capital S for Songkran. Ramadan in the book, that's a religious holiday, in the Muslim religion, capital R for Ramadan. However, there's a note there. It says we do not capitalize the names of seasons. For example, we do not capitalize spring, we do not capitalize fall, we do not capitalize summer, we do not capitalize winter. Geographic areas is the fourth rule. So the Middle East is an area of the world where there's many Arabic speaking countries like Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, many countries, Syria. So that's called the Middle East, capital M for middle, capital E for east. The Southwest, capital S, Outhwest, is usually the region of the United States in the southwest part of the United States of America. Southeast Asia, capital S and capital A, well, Thailand and Cambodia and Laos and Myanmar and many other countries in the Thailand area are in Southeast Asia. Eastern Europe, well, that's the eastern part of Europe, capital E like Eastern, capital E like Europe. However, we do not capitalize compass directions. North, south, east, west are the four compass directions. So north is not capitalized, south is not capitalized, east is not capitalized, west is not capitalized. So now that you've had a chance to learn four more rules, remember we had the other rules in the other page 18. Let me just review them again. The first rule was the capitalizing specific structures such as buildings, roads, and bridges. The next one was the names of specific organizations, businesses, schools, and clubs. The next rule was capitalizing days, months, holidays, and special time periods. Next rule was capitalizing geographic areas. So now that you've had a chance to learn even more rules than you did before, I'd like you to work on the exercise on page 97. Now, I know that some of you have done this exercise, some of you were not present, or some of you did not have your textbook. So this is like a review for the people who already did this exercise, but because it's part of the capitalization section and we have two more sections. There's one before that we learned about, and there's one more after this. I encourage you to review this exercise to make sure you have it done correctly. So on page 97, for those of you that have finished this exercise, or even for those of you who have never seen this exercise because you did not have the book or you were not present in the lesson before Christmas, there's four rules, and they need you to provide two examples of a building that's got capitalization, two examples of a road that's capitalized, two examples of two bridges, two examples of two businesses, two examples of two club names, two examples of two school names, two examples of 2 days of the week, two examples of 2 months of the year, two examples of two holidays, two examples of two geographic areas, two examples of geographic areas in Thailand, as well as geographic areas outside of Thailand. Okay, so now we're going to give you a chance to do that exercise, and then I want to talk about a third section of capitalization that's also in your book. Let's take a short break now, okay?